Pay attention. Creepy weirdo.
I would like a strong, powerful woman to protect me.
He'll fight for America.
Hip. Poopy square. The Playable Characters Podcast. Hey, everybody! Welcome to level 165 of
Playable Characters Podcast.
My name is Brian McGinnis.
And in the center square is Calvin Cato.
Shadow Stevens. Dude, I used to love Jim J. Bullock as a kid.
Oh, he's funny.
He's probably the corniest. If I went back and watched him, it's probably the corniest thing ever, his stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. But
back then, he was so funny.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. Are any of those people still alive?
That's a good question.
What did Shadow Stevens ever do besides that? Anything?
No, he was in other stuff. God, I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know I've seen his name in other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been around.
So, day 600 of quarantine.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Still podcasting, still making that cheddar.
We do have a Patreon, by the way, just in case you guys are interested in sending money. I know everyone's tight, but every little bit helps. So,
Patreon.com/playable podcast.
Yes.
And you can follow us on our social medias at Playable Podcast, where we post fun stuff and old clips and funny videos, game stuff, and whatever you want.
Yes.
All right. Let's dive into today's guest.
Yes, I'm very excited about this because this is a game I played so many times as a kid. I remembered. It's funny. Do you remember when Genesis used to have that 6-pack where you can get 6 games in one cartridge?
No, because I never had a Genesis. I only played this at friends' houses. That's why I used to. It was like special because I never had it myself.
Oh my God. I remember for years I used to be just a Nintendo household. And finally, like, my parents caved in and got me a Genesis.
Yeah.
And I got like the Sega 6-pack, which had Sonic the Hedgehog, this shitty motorcycle game, Golden Axe, and this game, which was the one I played most out of all of them, which was Streets of Rage.
And he's back with a star of another game. Let's bring him. We have with us today Axel from Streets of Rage. Axel, how are you, sir?
Hello.
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
This was so great to have you. This is exciting. I mean, you're a legend.
Yeah. And your new game just came out, Streets of Rage 4. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Very
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Namaste. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have guessed. Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised you're so calm now, considering, you're so violent with, throwing pipes at people and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. When I'm not raging on the streets, I try to keep it chill 1,000. I really try to get 1,000 chill points a day whenever I'm not raging.
How do you get your chill points? What do you do?
Oh, sourdough starters, yoga.
Sure.
Yoga. I got like 15 yoga mats in my apartment.
What?
I like to use a different yoga mat every time. Yeah.
Oh, you do that twice a day? Is that why you do twice a day?
Yeah. 3 times on Sundays.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Is Sunday the most spiritual day? Like, do you really reflect on like the criminals you beat up, or is it just like your thing?
It just seems like on Sundays, there's more hours in the day. I bake some bread, make some hand-pulled noodles.
Wow.
Yoga.
Of course. I definitely wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, we know you as like the former cop who just goes around beating the shit out of literally everybody. I thought you at home you'd even be the same way, but you seem nice and relaxed and at peace.
Yeah.
I mean, if you beat the shit out of everybody at home, then that's called domestic abuse. And that's not something that I want to do.
No, we don't want that.
I got a couple cats. They've never committed any crimes. So
no, that's good.
Oh, not like slang cats, like real cats.
Except stealing your heart. Am I right?
So let's talk about, so you make hand-pulled noodles and yet you eat out of the garbage. Why is that?
Well, he punches the garbage first. He doesn't eat out of the garbage.
I guess. I mean, is it better?
Well, yeah, I am a freegan.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in the freegan movement. That's you. Are you all aware of the freegan movement?
Is that just like dumpster diving? Is that what that is?
Right. Yeah, man. You got to get in those dumpsters. A lot of different corporations have like Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme is one in particular that they throw away, hundreds of thousands of pounds of donuts every year, man. And those are still good donuts. You can grab those donuts right out of any dumpster behind any Krispy Kreme in America.
That's hundreds
Wow.
of thousands of tons or pounds?
Pounds.
Okay, that's still a lot of donuts.
I mean, that's a hell of a lot. So are people just throwing out a bunch of turkeys in the garbage?
For sure, yeah. Outside of like a Walmart, a Piggly Wiggly, Albertsons, Randall's, turkeys galore.
Now you have been you have bulked up a bit, I think, from your first appearance. It seems like. So is this from the Krispy Kremes? I'm guessing, or
I'm trying to be gentle with myself, with my physique. I think I used to have a lot of body image issues around Streets of Rage 1. I think I was really, honestly, I think I had an eating disorder. I wasn't taking good care of myself. I was just only hitting the gym. And I think these days I've gotten a little older, a little more chill.
Sure.
And I've gotten a little less concerned with, my outward appearance. I let my beard grow in.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it is very full in the 4. Like, it's so distracting to see this little like lion's mane of a beard you have going on.
Big one.
Yeah.
No. Calvin mentioned it earlier, like right away, like, and you kind of said it now. You're more at peace. You're more chill. What does it feel like just smashing somebody over the head with a lead pipe over and over again?
Honestly, it's hard. It's hard, man. Yeah. Well, I don't like doling out punishment.
Oh, okay. I thought you loved it. It seemed like
I do what I have to do
to
clean up these streets. These streets are raging.
They are raging. Yeah.
And somebody's got to clean them up. So when it comes to me and Blaze and that fucking kangaroo, sometimes we got to go out there and we just got to clean up these streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you were a cop, right? And that's technically cleaning up the streets. But you were like, you know what? I want, what was it? More autonomy, more freedom to kind of really clean the streets up, because you're doing things that most cops don't do. Some do, but most really don't go about just beating up everybody. They cuff people, read some rights. You just go in there. You got a sword. You got a knife. You're getting business. You're taking care of business your own way.
Right. Well, that's an interesting point you brought up. So ACAB, right? Like a lot of the cops are really corrupt out there on these streets. All cops are bastards, and that's something that I, learned.
Is that what it stands for? Okay.
Yeah, ACAB. If you ever see that graffitied somewhere, that's what's up. And I learned on the force that a lot of the people are really corrupt, and sometimes you just got to get out there, because sometimes I beat up cops too. You
do a lot of that in the 4th one, I have to say.
Right.
Like
sometimes
half the people are like cops with tasers.
Really? Is that right?
Yeah.
It's something to think about.
It's
something to think about, especially under this administration.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of really bad people are emboldened, and sometimes you just gotta, throw a switchblade at them, or grapple them and get them in a good grapple, and then flip over backwards and hit them on the street.
Why not? Right? You got to do something. Catch them off guard. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Blaze before. Like, how's your relationship with like Blaze and Adam?
Skate.
Yeah.
Great. Skate's doing good.
Is he still 12?
No, Skate is not 12. He is in his early 20s, I believe.
That didn't seem safe, bringing a kid around on roller skates to kind of fight crime, right? I mean, that didn't seem that smart of an idea.
Well, he did wear a helmet, Brian.
Okay, but he's still on roller skates.
He also insisted upon it. He was very headstrong and precocious for a child.
Yeah.
And whenever he came skating up, we were just like, whoa. Like, this kid's got some moves on these skates. And so
that was enough to get him into the gang, the group.
It was have you seen him on those skates?
He's pretty good. He hardly falls down.
So he's actually he's right now he is studying at Sarah Lawrence College.
Nice.
In New York, and he wants to open up a skate dojo.
Oh.
for underprivileged youths.
Is that a common thing, or is that a new idea? A skate dojo?
He's revolutionizing it right now. It's a skate dojo. They hook these kids up with a free pair of skates, and they just show them how to use them. They show them how to chop it up. How to really make some moves on the skate floor and the streets.
Nice, very cool. So it's fighting and skating combined, I guess.
It's fighting, it's skating. Blaze is gonna help him out with some dance classes, skate dancing, skate capoeira. You got
so hard.
Skate Krav Maga. So there's nothing you can't do on skates. I was thinking about, there's nothing you can't do on skates. We teach these kids how to go up and down escalators.
That seems tricky. That seems really hard.
No, I mean, skate, his name's not Skate for nothing.
That's true.
So I'm proud of him. I think he's doing good. Doing good.
It's interesting that because Adam fights crime with both his brother and his daughter Cherry now. How come none of your family members got into the law enforcement business?
I don't know. I mean, you would have to ask them. I think a lot of my family is where I get some of my chillness from. I think a lot of them like to keep it low key, like to get out of the city, like to stay out in the woods.
Right.
I mean, I consider deer my family. I consider, squirrels my family, and a lot of squirrels actually do a lot of, a lot of vigilante justice. You just don't see it because it's real small.
Really? Against other squirrels or against other predators? Owls?
Primarily other squirrels, but also against other predators. Sometimes, they'll steal back goods that have been stolen and return them to the owners, sort of like a itty bitty Robin Hood.
Really?
Squirrels go hardcore. Yeah, man.
So do you actually have family, like human family, or is it just the animals?
I mean, everyone's got a family, and it's about, whether or not you still communicate with them. And, they don't stop. I mean, and then also you got your chosen family as well.
Did you beat up your family, your original family? Did you fight them?
I mean, I've given some people that were in my bloodline a pop or two.
Okay.
But we don't need to dig up those.
I get it. Yeah.
They're not dead. They're not dead. I didn't kill them. Okay. Skeletons in the metaphorical sense.
Okay. Good.
So what led you into a life of law enforcement?
Insecurity.
Yeah.
I would say, initially, whenever I joined the police force, I think I didn't know who I was.
Yeah, you were bodyguard before that, right? And then you figured make it more legal, become a cop.
Right. But I was disillusioned. It was insecurity, disillusionment, so anger management issues.
Yeah. That seems to be a lot of it.
Yeah,
a lot of the reasons.
Yeah. Like I think I grew up looking for control, looking for a way to enact change where I saw issues, and I think I just didn't go about it in the right way, and I think I know that now.
Sure, but then you kind of went off on your own, again with Adam and Blaze, and you're like, "We're going to take care of this our way." Now, was it weird that most of the gangs, everybody kind of looks the same? Did that throw you off a bit?
Well, Mr. X has a type. Mr. X likes to, because whenever people would get recruited into Mr. X's crime syndicate, he would make them all dress alike.
Yeah.
And so there would be different groups, there would be different cells within Mr. X's organization. So it'd be these are the purple hoodies.
Right.
And the purple hoodies only use bats.
Okay. Even their face looks the same. It's crazy.
They would do facial reconstruction surgery.
Wow.
That's a pretty big commitment from these.
That's a lot of money Mr. X is making.
Well, 1%. The Mr. X was part of the 1%.
Sure.
And I mean, Mr. X had his fingers and stink holes all over this city. He was in gerrymandering, which I do a lot of other activism outside of raging on the streets. So
what else?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Voter reform, healthcare reform.
Do you use bats and steel pipes for that too?
When necessary.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, right?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, maybe you should break it. Is what I always say.
Yeah.
Can
we talk about your flaming uppercut? That was always fun to do. I mean, how does that work? Is that rapid, or are you just really fast?
It involves blood flow. What you do is it's part of my yoga training and it's part of my centering myself. Nice. What you do is you activate the mitochondria inside your blood cells and you get them really hot and you get them really working. Okay. And then whenever you're ready to go, you channel all that over to your fist and then you do a standard uppercut, but you're just on fire.
So it's like Iron Fist in a way.
Or Parasite Eve.
Or sort of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, so I guess a lot of people can do this. So can Brian do this if Brian centers himself?
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, for sure. I mean, anyone can set their fist on fire.
Really? I didn't know that. With their minds, you mean, or with a lighter and something?
I mean, let's be real. You could do it with a lighter as well.
Okay. It doesn't hurt, or are you just used to it at this point?
Pain don't hurt. Is one of my favorite quotes.
That's a real man right there. Yeah, that's tough.
Or woman, or non-binary entity.
That's true. All of them. Yeah.
True. So I've noticed that Mr. X's gang has a lot more men than women. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think even within a criminal organization, I think sometimes there's a glass ceiling.
Yeah.
I think the patriarchy is visible in every aspect of society, be it legal or illegal.
I feel like the women always had whips and chains in all these type of gang games. They never had the women didn't have bats or knives. It was always whips.
Yeah, they didn't even have guns. They had no guns. It
was and it was very stereotypical. I'm saying,
I mean, we as a society put people in boxes, and even if we don't want to, we still reinforce those boxes. I can say I'm not going to reinforce someone's box, and I'm not going to put someone into a category, and we still do it. And I think that was very true in Mr. X and the Y Twins organization. So I think that we just see it all over the place.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Now, speaking of the Y Twins, who is their mom? Because they don't get into it. And Mr. X is a pretty big and seems very not nice of a person.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I think that's a great question, Calvin. I would, maybe we'll see them on some sort of Maury show at some point. Maybe they'll show up on some talk show and kind of uncover that. I don't know. Yeah.
Can you tell us about Adam or Blaze? Do you guys hang out? Were you and Blaze ever an item? You and Adam ever an item? Give us some background on the team.
Were you and Rue ever an item?
Yeah.
What's in the
whenever you're a vigilante, things happen. So we've all exchanged, intimacies.
Sure, that's nice.
With each other at different times, except Skate, of course, because
he just watched like a weird kid in the room. He just watched.
No, he was always out on the streets skating up a storm.
Practicing, getting good.
Blaze is doing great. Like I said, she's still teaching dance with various footwear. From high heels to skates, and Adam's doing all right himself. He's got a greenhouse that he keeps. He's been growing a lot of plants, a lot of vegetables.
Look at that, huh?
Nice.
Everyone's kind of chilled down. I like it. I feel like Streets of Rage 4, it brought you guys back for one last mission, and come back and let's fight people one more time. Did you want to do it again, or were you quote unquote retired, or what did you think when they said let's do another one more go?
I would, retirement is not just like a set line. I think I think a lot of times people think that once you go into that phase of your life, you're just done. But I think it's there's an ebb and flow to it. We saw a need, and we knew that the people were wondering if we would come back and rage on those streets again, and we did, and we do what we have to do when we have to do it. But it's good to compartmentalize. I think right now in 2020, everyone's trying to be on all the time. And I think we're learning that kind of hustle is toxic.
Sure.
Because people's mental health and physical health are degrading. If you're trying to rage on the streets all the time, you're going to live a really short life.
Especially getting punched in the head constantly. Yeah, it's not going to last. Yeah.
Right.
What caused this area to become so overridden with crime and gangs? Was it just Mr. X say this is a good town to do? Did it just kind of like where did it all start and come from?
I mean, that's a big question, Brian. I mean, why do areas become rife with crime? And I think that we can look to the highest forms of government for that.
Sure.
I think that we can look to the way that people are put in like disproportionate need. And I think that the way that the government, the 1% are always turning the screw and basically just fucking everybody over. I mean, I think that you can trace the line from any criminal to someone that put that person in that position higher and higher up the chain and,
Right.
disproportionate issues in this country.
Okay.
So then have you thought about like trying to run for like Congress?
Oh.
I mean, I know you mentioned like, you're trying to do health reform and voter reform on the side.
Kind of like Mike Hagar, who took over Metro City. He became the mayor. I know it's final fight, kind of like your rival, but yeah, it's a great question, Kel.
Mike does good work. I think the issue for me is I don't know if that life's for me. I think it's hard to become part of that system without becoming corrupt or susceptible to corruption. And I'm doing good right now. I've got my animal family. I've got my OnlyFans account.
Really? OnlyFans? Like, what do you do on that page?
What's some of your content?
It's mostly baking and nudity related. So, I'll make a baguette and then, and be naked.
Yeah.
While I make it.
Nice.
Do you show off any uppercuts or just nude baking?
Uppercuts when I'm making pizza.
Is that how you twirl it, kind of?
Yeah.
Pizza? Yeah. What did you yell when you do like your rolling uppercut, like bare knuckle? You would yell every time or something like that. Like you would just roll, you'd run, do the roll and uppercut, and you just yell bare knuckle every time. Did that give it away? Did it kind of lose a surprise when your enemies knew the bare knuckle was coming? Why'd you yell that?
Oh fuck, Brian. Man, sometimes you just say shit. Sometimes you're just like in the heat of it.
Sure.
And then you're just like you're going at somebody and you're about to do an uppercut. And then all of a sudden you're just like shablooey, you just say some shit.
Right.
Because whenever you were a kid and you would like imitate like Goku or something, and you'd be like, sometimes you'd say Kamehameha, but you'd also just say like bullshit.
Sure.
It's like that.
I got you. Okay. Like Raiden, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, you talk a lot about, the Streets of Rage 1 and 2 people you still keep in touch with, but what about 3? Like, do you still keep in touch with like Max and Dr. Zan?
Dr. Zan, big guy, yeah.
Like, are you not as close with them, or like what's going on with them?
Well, Dr. Zan got involved with a pretty intense religious cult.
Oh.
Aren't they all pretty intense?
Right. Yeah, man. But it's difficult to communicate with him right now because he's pretty deep in it. And I feel like when you're talking to him, you're only talking to like a facsimile of him.
Interesting.
And it just doesn't feel like the same relationship that we had whenever we were working on Streets of Rage 3, whenever we finally really shut down X. And
he was all about robots and like that's when the robots was happening. Streets of Rage 3. Yeah, okay. He warned you guys.
Right. And Max is doing all right. He's still wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Still doing that.
Is it professional or like backyard wrestling?
Professional backyard.
Okay. Nice. Is there any other kind? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So do you think this is the last run? Are you going to hang up the uppercut for good? Are you going to, if they need you in 5 years, are you going to go back and start beating up gangs, or what do you think is in the future for you?
I mean, hell yeah. If there's a need and I'm still around, I'll show up. It's hard to say. I mean, who knows what's happening in the next week, versus the next 5 years. I learned a long time ago, you can't plan for shit.
Yeah.
And you just got to kind of live in the moment, go with the flow, channel your inner Forrest Gump and kind of just be there.
You know where your skills could be useful right now? We're in the middle of this pandemic, I'm sure you know, but
hell yeah.
People who walk around and don't wear masks, that's where I feel like you could come in handy and just uppercut them, punch their face off until they go home and get a mask.
Or punch a mask on their face.
Punch a mask right on their face.
Yeah. It's difficult. I would like to do that. I would like to be able to use my powers to kind of just throw masks like so many shurikens. And have them just attach to people's faces. And that's it's a difficult time right now because you think that people are just going to go with their better judgment, and yet you're shown often that that's not the case. Right. And so, if we could develop some sort of, if some sort of, billionaire could put his money in the right place, like a Elon Musk or something, if he could develop some shuriken masks instead of being an idiot all the time, maybe I could use those.
Shuriken mask sounds great. Just toss it at somebody, it goes right in their mouth. I love it.
Yeah, sort of like a face hugger.
Yeah,
but that keeps you safe and doesn't impregnate you with a xenomorph.
Right.
Yeah,
that'd be the one thing they got to change for sure.
Sure.
Just the one.
Yeah.
Well, we got so much going on right now with the murder hornets. We don't need to add xenomorphs to the gumbo, to the societal gumbo that we got going on right now.
True. Although speaking of xenomorphs, I always remember this since I think it was Streets of Rage 2 or 3. There was always that really weird level where you did have to fight an alien in an amusement park. What was up with that? Because that made no goddamn sense.
I think that was Terry. That was Terry, and Terry was an alien, and we did fight him. Now how he got involved in Mr. X's organization, I don't entirely know. I think that perhaps he was sort of lost and disillusioned in his own way, coming to a strange planet, and got just wrapped up in it, similar to the way I got wrapped up in the police force, just looking for direction.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, every time you fight an alien, you're not sure what's going on there.
Right. We have communication issues all over the place, just amongst humans. So imagining that we would be able to communicate and understand why this alien is showing up and fighting for this crime lord, who knows? Who knows?
I got you. Yeah. All right. Do you have a favorite person that you've knocked out or punched, or is it a boss? Is it just one of the regular annoying, repetitive gang members? I would imagine after a while, it's that one felt pretty good. That uppercut felt great. Those fat guys that fire at you with swords, what's up with them? I don't know.
I mean, in Mr. X's organization, everybody had a specialty, and it was really hammered home that you had to stick to your specialty. Because if any of those guys that blew fire were I want to switch over and do something else, I want to use knives, or Mr. X was nah.
Really?
Nah. Like, because everyone had their exact expertise and they had to stick to it. And if they ever shifted around, Pacow.
Wow. Mr. X is ruthless.
Ruthless and also like really, really organized. Like, because I think that was it. Was Mr. X very type A? And if anyone started shifting around in the ranks, it just got him all confused, and then he would kill them.
What was it like? Because like you thought you killed him after the first one. He comes back. Were you guys just like, God damn it! Like what was that feeling like that he came back and was even worse the second time?
It's disappointing because it hurt a lot, and I think it was difficult for me every time. I think it was difficult for all of us every time because you feel like you failed, but you know you did your best.
Yeah.
And you just got to understand that failure is part of success.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to fail, and you have to just keep showing up. And I think that's what we're doing, or trying to do, like everybody else.
It's very Michael Jordan of you. Just
Yeah.
keep got to keep trying to get better. Don't be scared to fail.
Right. We've worked with George. We've worked with Michael before.
Have you?
Yeah. It was sort of like in a Streets of Rage 3.5 way. He was an unlockable warrior. He showed up on the streets and raged with us. He's got that reach.
He does.
That's true.
He was in a game he was in a terrible Windy City game
Yeah.
that he had back in the day.
Did you ever try to team up with Shaquille O'Neal? Because he has kung fu moves, apparently.
Oh, he's teamed up with everybody. He'll do anything.
Yeah, he will.
For sure. We've teamed up with Shaquille O'Neal a couple times just for like, little spars, little small things. He's a busy man.
Yes, he does a lot.
So I did want to ask one other thing, which is this actually came up a little bit last week. So you have lives apparently, and yet sometimes you die, but you come back, and somehow you coming back knocks everyone over. Can you tell me how that works? Like, is that a chi thing or?
Absolutely. That is a chi thing. It's a transcendental, sort of, if you meditate enough, if you get chill enough, you can come back from the brink. And when you come back from the brink of existence, there is like a wave that is launched out of you, because you're coming back from another dimension in a sense. And so you come back and you just really like pow. And it's all about just really centering yourself and getting your blood flow right.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to die, but I would be fun to go into a room and everybody just falls down for some reason.
Yeah.
Brian, you can make that happen.
Can I too? I can. So many things I didn't know I could do that. My mind's
You can
not
do
ready.
anything, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you gotta believe in yourself. Both of you, Calvin, Brian, you gotta believe that you can, because here's the thing. You are enough.
That's beautiful.
Aw, thank you. That's so sweet.
We are enough
I
to
mean it.
rage on these streets.
Oh, well, we're gonna rage.
Yeah,
You gotta rage on the streets inside yourself.
that's true.
Because if you can't rage on yourself, how the hell are you gonna rage on anybody else?
Yeah,
Gotta
inside
get
is a
main
whole
man up in here.
boulevard. Inside is a whole boulevard of broken dreams, Calvin. Right?
I like that. It's a cross between RuPaul and Green Day. Are you a big fan of Drag Race, Axel?
Yeah, at this point it's pretty ubiquitous. I think almost everyone's a big fan of Drag Race.
Who are you rooting for to win, Axel?
I mean, my girl was Heidi. I was really out here for Heidi. But I'm happy to see Jada really showing up in a big way.
I'm glad you support the Black Queens. That makes sense that Adam's your best friend, and yet you're rooting for Heidi and Jada. Good for you.
Love Heidi and Jada. Love Heidi and Jada. I think it's been a good season.
I have to catch up, I guess. I'm behind.
Brian, you got to watch Drag. Well, also, it's a bit of a scam. I think at this point we're all so sucked in that we can't not watch it, even if we're like that.
It is true. It's just Streets of Rage and then Drag Race, which are very analogous now that I think about it.
For sure, the workroom. It's savage in that workroom.
It really is.
Do you want to play a quick game with us before we go, Axel? Want to play a game?
Hell yeah!
Let's play a game of
Hell
Wed
yeah.
Bed Dead, everybody! Yay! Wed Bed. So we're gonna give you 3 characters. You're gonna tell us who you want to wed, who you want to bed, and who you want dead. Sound
All
good?
right.
So first one from another popular remake or game that's out right now from Final Fantasy VII, Red 13.
Ooh.
Calvin, explain. He's a tiger, a cat. What is he again?
Well, I mean, he's a four-legged, very intelligent animal
Sure.
who speaks English. He has, for some reason, a flaming tip on his tail. Don't ask why, but he's very spiritual. He's one with nature.
Right.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Very chill.
He's like a cat though, or a tiger. You gotta. I mean,
he's not a cat.
that's what he looks like to me. No, he's not.
Well, I mean, he's cat-like. I wouldn't call him a cat.
Okay, he's cat-like, I guess.
Yeah.
And a crazy name, Red 13.
Yeah. Well, that's not his like real name.
His experiment name, his government name.
Exactly. That's government name.
His real name's like
Nanaki.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Frank. All right.
Yeah, Frank the tiger thing.
Next one of the most famous characters ever, Samus from Metroid. We all know Samus, alien bounty hunt. No, she's not an alien. She's a human, hunts aliens, blasts them out of the sky, shoots them with missiles and rockets.
Rolls into a ball.
Yeah, rolls into a ball. It's fun. She has her armor suit and her zero suit.
Yes.
Which all the young boys love. It's a fact, okay? And then this next one we have here is, hold on. Oh, yeah, Earthworm Jim.
Oh.
The famous Earthworm Jim with the detachable head.
He was a worm who fell into an alien spacesuit. Wow, this is very alien heavy.
Yeah, crazy. All three kind of aliens-ish. Yeah.
He has a blaster gun and for some reason a bubble gun sometimes. It does nothing.
Yes.
And his enemy is Psycrow, a crow, because crows, worms.
Could he swing? He could use his head as like a grappling hook, right?
Yeah, he could swing with his head, and then he got like a ball of snot named Snot that he can also use to swing around.
That's very like late 80s action figure sidekick name, Snot. Axel, what do you think? Red 13, Samus, Earthworm Jim. What are your choices here?
All right. Quite a buffet.
It is.
I would have to say, if we're starting with Wed,
sure,
I would probably go with Red 13. As I said, I've got a nice family full of animals.
Right. You'd fit right in.
Out here on the land I'm living on. And I think that Red 13 would have a lot of space to run.
Yeah.
And I think we would have a lot of nice philosophical conversations. We could share our thoughts on Foucault with each other.
What's Foucault?
Micheal Foucault. Yeah, he's a philosopher.
Oh. That's it.
Yeah, so we could talk about Foucault and like hang out on the land. So I would wed Red 13. Wait, what was his real name again?
Nanaki.
We would wed, and that would that would be good. And I suppose I would bed. This is build a bed with, right?
Go to bed with, have a night of passion.
Yeah, you lie in the bed together.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
usually,
I guess I would
usually butt naked.
Okay. All right. I guess I would go with Samus.
Yeah.
Samus.
I don't know actually. Samus?
It's Samus. Yeah.
Yeah. My pronunciation is shit. So we would go with, I would bed Samus. I like that she is driven, assertive.
Yeah.
I like that, she can contort her body into shapes that don't make any sense by, logic and physics.
Yeah.
Roll herself up in a ball, go through she goes through like air vents and stuff.
Yeah. We had her on, and basically it crushes her bones almost every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
But the suit kind of regenerates them for her.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I would have some dim sum with her and then maybe go to bed,
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, usually it's a date, but okay, yeah.
We can't go on a date?
I mean, why not, Calvin?
Well, I'd always assumed it's more of like a grinder hookup sort of thing where you just kind of like have to come over. I mean, you can talk.
Okay, so we're talking like door unlocked, ass up, like don't talk. Okay, I see. Or is that more like Craigslist, like old school Craigslist style? Okay.
I wouldn't know.
Well, maybe I'll bring dim sum. Maybe I'll bring it with me.
Maybe for afterwards.
Like
Right.
maybe it's like leave the dim sum on the dresser.
Yeah.
All right. So got that. And then I guess I would dead Earthworm Jim. You know, I like his work, but you know, he's really shifted as well. You know, his creator, like you said, quite a bad dude, and I think a lot of that got into Earthworm.
Mm-hmm.
Earthworm's his first name, right?
Yeah.
They never made that clear, actually. It might be his moniker, like, you know, Mr. Like, if I was a Mr. Calvin.
Okay, it could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So salutation.
Yeah.
All
right.
Okay. Like on his mail, it says is Earthworm is like the abbreviation of like, because like Mr. is MR, is Earthworm is the EW dot.
I
think it would be W.Jim.
Or is that just like his job, his title? So maybe his name is just Jim Smith.
Oh, like Commander Jim, like Earthworm.
Yeah, it could
Jim.
be. Who knows?
We gotta have him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if the salutation is EW Jim, then it would be like EU Jim.
Which,
you know, I guess I would dead Earthworm Jim.
Either way, he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's where I land on it.
All right. Good choice.
Fair.
All right.
Brian, what about you?
Well, I'm going to wed Samus. I'm going to wed Samus here because I've always wanted to go to space, and she gets there all the time, very quickly in her spaceship.
Earthworm Jim goes to space.
Yeah, but he's gross. So at least I'll be with a nice-looking lady, right? We get to travel galaxies together. I wouldn't probably get off the spaceship unless I had a really good helmet, obviously. But I just want to look out the window like, wow, check this out. This is the moon. This is Mars. Something like that. And we could do that all the time. That'd be a weekend getaway for us. That's pretty awesome. This is where it gets tough, though. These next 2 here. I think, you know what? Let's bed Red 13. You're only going to get a one shot at this ever again. Right? So it seems like this is interesting. This isn't going to happen very often. Cat man, whatever you call him, cat-like man. So we're going to do that.
Okay. How would you have sex with Red 13?
Probably. I mean, I was going to say doggy style, but I guess kitty style would make the most sense. Well, he's on all fours, right?
Yes, he is.
So they can't stand up or do missionary. Their bones aren't made for that.
I mean, you could turn him over and just put him on the bed.
You ever turn a dog over or a cat? They look ridiculous.
Well, have you read Sex with a Dog or a Cat? When does it not look ridiculous?
Well, you got to also watch out for the fire tail.
Oh shit, you're right. I didn't. I'll make sure. I'll hold it with this hand and put my other hand on his back. I think just so that's why I have to hold the fire tail away so I don't get stung.
Maybe I mean, you should ask him because maybe the fire tail has some sort of condom that you can put on it or something just to like contain the flame,
like a little thimble or something to it. Yeah.
Put some asbestos on it. I'm sure that's fine.
And then, but I'm gonna dead Earthworm Jim here because he's fun, but he's a little gross. And maybe if he's still cool with his owner, his creator, like, no, he's fine, man. He's like, no, he's not. He's nuts. So I don't want to talk him that propaganda shit. So
wow.
He will die. I'll take his head and throw it away so his body can't get it. That's how I'm going to do it. Walk into traffic or something.
Wow.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay, so this is going to be a little weird. I mainly figured out, okay, I would wed Earthworm Jim.
Wow. Okay.
I would. Because he has a lot of guns, and here's the thing: I'm not really a Second Amendment person, but like I know I'll be safe from both things, alien and human, and I think that's great, And he goes on a lot of fun adventures. He has a lot of weird levels, and I'm kind of okay with that. Like, I want to hold a big marshmallow and bounce puppies into a house. Yeah, that sounds great.
His adventures and places he goes are definitely more fun than Samus. That's for sure.
Yeah,
they're not as dangerous, really.
Yeah, they're not really. It's fun. He went to a planet that was just made up of taxes and tax returns. I want to go to a tax return planet.
The fuck? But Samus's spaceship is pretty cool.
A spaceship is cool, but there are too many like slimy aliens. I don't want slimy. No,
Making me second guess it, but I'm sticking by it.
I'm just saying.
Slimy.
Yeah.
What's that, Axel?
I mean, Earthworm Jim is probably slimy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're just married. You know, it's gonna be one of those like, you know, not loveless. There will be love there, but you know, the sexes run dry. The worm can only crawl into so many orifices, and you know, we'll just chill together.
Worms have 5 hearts, you know.
And I will make all of them happy.
All right.
So yeah, so I'm gonna wet Earthworm Jim. Now this is the hard part. I really don't know. Because you made some both good and bad points for betting Red 13. So I'm very concerned now.
Yeah.
But I think, and I feel bad because I love Final Fantasy. I think I'm gonna have to bet Samus. Because I know I can at least understand analogously where her parts are. And with Red 13, I just don't know how to conceivably have sex with a cat thing.
He's got a butthole, probably. I'm guessing. Right?
Yes, but I just don't know how to access it with the tail and the paws.
You just lift it up like a trunk of a car.
I will say, Brian, I think It's Got a Butthole probably would be like a good memoir name or something. I think it's a good book title.
It's got a butthole, probably, and other facts.
Oh boy. So
right.
I mean, and I feel bad because Red 13 is very spiritual, but I feel like I just don't want too much spirituality, you know? And Samus seems like she's just fun. She's like, look, been a long day, killing Metroids. Let's just fuck.
Yeah.
And then I like her dim sum idea. I'll bring her some dim sum. Maybe she's never had it before. She's in space.
Right. And Red 13 will just return to the planet and be part of the live stream again.
He was a slave getting experimented on. How dare you?
But before that, he was just chilling in Cosmo Canyon, you know?
Yeah. All right.
Eating Gasol greens.
Great music in Cosmo Canyon.
Oh, the best.
Really good music.
All right. Well, great answers, everybody. I think we all win. Axel,
except Red 13. I think Red 13 lost.
Yeah, he's fucking me and he's dying.
Hey, we're getting married. We're getting married over here.
Yeah.
He's running the gamut. Yeah. Wow, Axel, thank you so much for coming, man. This has been an awesome pleasure to have you.
Hell yeah.
You're a legend. Keep it up, I guess, and hopefully you can clean these streets sooner than later. You know, you deserve a break.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go outside and toss some acorns up to the squirrels and feed the deer out of the palm of my hand.
We should all do that. Everybody go do that.
Yeah.
Everybody else has probably got a butthole. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you all next week. Bye.
Namaste. Namaste,
Today's
y'all.
playable character is portrayed by comedian and writer Michael Foulk. You can check out his work on Patreon at patreon.com/Michael Foulk Comedy. That is MichealFoulkComedy. Also, as a side note, yes, Jim J. Bullock is still alive.